Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I want to go ahead and speak about Shaytan and his influence in the month of Ramadan. As all of us Muslims know, we are told that the Shaytan of the world, the demons of the world are chained up, they're tied up in the month of Ramadan and cannot influence us. Though I came across a very well put together speech by brother MUHAMAD, HOBLOS, and this gentleman is someone who got really famous online. He became a meme for saying brother ill, but his way of articulating his speech and storytelling is so well, and I wanted to go ahead today and take a look at his speech about why Shaytan is stealing your Ramadan, and go ahead and just touch on a few different things that he says, because they're very important, and I want my Muslim brothers and sisters, especially during the month of Ramadan, to really understand this, because even though the Shaytan are tied up and they cannot affect you, you can very much affect yourself. Shaytan has very much been working on you the rest of the year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what our brother Muhammad has to say.
Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. I'll try to be quick, my brothers and sisters, as much as I can. Look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in multiple places in the Quran, multiple areas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds the human being that, O son of man, take Shaytan as your enemy. You know, for Allah, He can say something once and that's it, we understand. Yani it's in the Quran. If it made it to the Quran, we understand its importance. Take him as an enemy. He is a sworn enemy. Don't follow Shaytan. Don't follow the whispers of Shaytan. Allah goes to the extent saying, don't follow the footsteps of Shaytan. Again and again, don't follow, watch out. Take him as an enemy. So you're probably thinking, what's Shaytan got to do with the month of Ramadan? Almost every sheikh has mentioned that, you know, come the month of Ramadan, Shaytan is chained away. The reality is, my brothers, Shaytan has worked for centuries on this ummah, and he has worked for centuries to destroy every goodness we have in this deen. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You know, alhamdulillah, I was quite fortunate.
A lot of people think that Islam is some type of all protection from evil or temptation or Shaytan. They believe like you can just convert to Islam and then somehow like the devil no longer affects you. That's not how it works. He's saying Shaytan has been working on this religion, has been working on these people for 1500 years. Since the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was born, Shaytan was working against him. And you guys have to really and truly understand that Shaytan's been here since the beginning of time, which means he knows about these prophets. He knows they are to come. He knows about these scriptures and what they are to come. He understands these things ahead of time, and he was prepared for them. So don't think like, oh, I'm Islam, it's preserved, everything's perfect. It's not. Not everything is perfect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you a brain, and He gave you free will to make decisions. He didn't just birth you into Islam and you're going to heaven, khalas. He gave you a responsibility to study and learn and keep yourself away from the Shaytan. And the Shaytan will work extra hard upon you because you are someone with strong faith, with strong merit, or someone that was born upon the right path. So Shaytan will work extra hard to steer you off of it, especially for the 11 months before we get to Ramadan, or especially right before your prayer. He will make you tired. He will tell you, no, go eat or go do this or go do this. You will be steered away from your iman, I promise you. And this is very important to understand. Shaytan is an enemy to all of mankind, and just because you're Muslim or you pray does not mean you're not bothered by the temptations of the devil, right? Even the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even the prophets of God, they were affected by the devil and his temptations. Not directly, but through his family members, through their wives, through all of these different things, like their companions, their friends, the community. Shaytan would affect their environment to destroy them. And this is just how the devil works. So be very careful, ladies and gentlemen. Just because something is protected by God, just because you may be protected by God, doesn't mean everything else around you is. Please be very aware of the Shaytan.
That just a few weeks ago we were in Umrah. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this possible for everyone. So we're there, we're in Umrah, and imagine, you know, you're in the Holy of the Holy. The Holy of the Holy. We're sitting in front of the Kaaba. Front of the Kaaba. You know, like there's this moment, you know, anyone that's been there knows what I'm talking about. He's sitting in front of this, it's just epic. in every sense of the word.
Subhanallah, I'm getting chills right now. I was there a year ago from today, and I prayed so harshly to my Creator to take me there, take me to His home, so that I can pray in front of the Kaaba. And I did my Umrah last year, and as he's describing it is exactly the way he is describing it. I have chills throughout my body right now.
And then the adhan goes off. Imagine if the Kaaba, Shaytan has not left alone. So then the adhan goes off, and then I see people stand up and they're pulling out their phones, and I can talk about the phone all day long. But I'm thinking, it's a special moment, let it be. So they're pulling out their phones and they're standing in front of the Kaaba, and then as soon as the adhan goes off, instead of looking at the Kaaba or recording the Kaaba, they turn to their sides and they start recording this clock tower building. I just think, oh my heart, man. Even the Kaaba is not enough for the hearts of the believers. This clock tower, this monstrosity of a building. And tonight I'm not here to speak about halal and haram. I'm not speaking about halal and haram, but just for a moment, think deep with me. If I'm standing in front of the Kaaba, if I'm one of the very few fortunate people, look, there's almost 2 billion people, almost 2 billion Muslims on earth. Very few are selected and allowed to stand in front of the Kaaba. Yet even at that moment, while the adhan is being called, Muslims have turned and they're recording this clock tower, and you should see their eyes. Look, brother, look, it's glittering, it's turning green.
This is the clock tower that he's talking about, and it stands so tall, and is the world's tallest clock tower. So tall, above the house of God, above the Kaaba. It is so disrespectful. And this is one of the first things I noticed when I got to Mecca, is how they've turned the area around the Kaaba into a shopping mall, Las Vegas shopping strip. It is so sickening and it is so sad. What he's saying is so accurate. You're standing in front of the Kaaba, the house of God. The feeling you get is so miraculous. And then the adhan strikes. And the tower starts lighting up and you're looking at the tower. It's disgusting, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. And this is a symbol, and I will show you guys that this is a symbol of the Dajjal, of the Antichrist. This minaret, this pillar here at the top, do you see the moon? These are horns. And the clock tower stands for an eye, the one eye, which we will get into in just a second. And I will show you, because they have these logos in Mecca that actually represent the clock tower. And the clock tower logo is an eye with horns. It is the craziest thing you will see. And I experienced this last year on my journey to Umrah in Saudi Arabia myself. So what he is saying, I have felt for myself, and it's very beautiful to hear someone actually talk about something and actually feel it within me. So
I'm thinking, bro, you're standing in front of the Kaaba. Shaytan has worked endlessly. We go to Medina. Imagine Medina, Masjid al-Nabawi, the holy of the holy. The holy of the holy. You're in Medina. Imagine a place the Prophet chose to die in. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You walk into Masjid al-Nabawi, and look, alhamdulillah, I'm fortunate that I take, young guys, youth, and you walk into the masjid. This is the masjid that changed the world. Masjid al-Nabawi is the masjid that changed the course of history for life. Yet we walk into the masjid, and Shaytan has left no stone unturned. You walk into the masjid, again, I'm not speaking about halal and haram, and wearing awe of the carpet, of the pillars, of the electric domes that open and close, and people pull out their phones and look, Sheikh, and our hearts are connected, not to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not to the land where Jibreel descended thousands of times to bring down Quran, to speak to the Prophet, to help. No. The hearts of the Muslims has gone where? Every time I go, someone asks me, brother, how many pillars do you think there's in Masjid al-Nabawi? So Shaytan has left what?
He's 100% right. When I was at the Prophet's mosque in Medina as well, the same thing had come through my mind as many times as I went and I tried to visit my Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him's gravesite and shrine. I was too captivated by everything else. And all I kept praying and asking God for, and all I kept saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please tell my Prophet, I'm so sorry for this. For the way that they have done everything. This is so disrespectful and nasty. That the way they have built this is like a multi-trillion-dollar palace. And you're so mesmerized by everything else in the architecture. And then you only have like 2 seconds to just walk by the Prophet's grave. And the guards yell at you to leave. It is so... They have so despiritualized the natural experience of what it is. My Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, does not want this. He wants to be buried like any other human being and return to his creator like every other human being. The fact that he is treated like a tourist attraction with grand pillars and gold and painted walls is so disgusting. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayk. And it takes away from the worship, and it takes away from the connection, the spiritual connection with our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, with our Creator. It's so sad. Wallah, it's so sad. It's so sad. You guys will know what I'm saying if you have ever been there. And inshallah, every single person gets to experience this and travel to Medina and travel to Mecca and see these things. But you will see how the Saudi government has completely turned it into something physical, turned it into this dunya. They've turned this spiritual journey into a dunya tourist attraction.
No stone unturned, and unfortunately he's done the same with Ramadan. You might think, but brother, Shaytan is chained up in the month of Ramadan. Let me tell you, my brothers, Shaytan has been working 11 months. He actually needs the 4 weeks off. He's more than happy to take the month of Ramadan off. He's been winding you and up so long. You know, like there used to be a phase, the fidget spinner. You know the fidget spinner? The more you spin it, what happens to it? The more you spin it, then when you let it go, it runs for longer. Habibi, Shaytan's been spinning you and I for 11 months of the year. So come Ramadan, him and his mates, they're kicking back saying, watch this guy go, bro. Boom. And you're gone for a 6. Gone for a 6. And wallah, it breaks my heart. It boggles the mind. How has Shaytan been so successful in changing the Ramadan that the Salaf and the Prophet and the companions used to long for? To this, you know, the companions, look, in Masjid al-Nabawi, when Umar ibn al-Khattab came into rule, came into power, radiallahu ta'ala anhu,
I'm going to go ahead and skip forward to another part I want to focus on, because I want to talk about Shaytan in specific here.
The halal and haram, I'm not here to debate. The mashayikh here, I'm not a sheikh at all. I'm not here to speak fiqh. But just think with me. How has the month of fasting, how has he been so successful into turning it into the month of feasting? Is it haram to eat? No, wallah, it's not haram to eat. But brother, I ask you by Allah, is this what Ramadan is about? You want to see the condition of the Muslims? Go to an iftar where the food is late. Bala Sheikh, Bala Balut, bro, where the hell is the food? Brother, wallahi, they've ordered the food, the brother's stuck in the car. Who's the hamar that's driving, brother? Doesn't he know? Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, when she was speaking to her nephew Urwa, that we used to see the moon, then the moon, then the moon. 2 consecutive months, 2 consecutive months, that's longer than Ramadan. 2 consecutive months, she said there was no boiling, no cooking, not a single flame was lit in any of the 9 houses of Rasulullah for 2 consecutive months. So Urwa asked, how did you eat? How did you survive? She said, al-aswadan al-tamru wal-ma'. If Umar didn't want to put paint on the walls because lest it should be a fitna, What would have happened to the Prophet if he's seen the way we deal with breaking our fasts?
He's 100% right. He's talking about how we break our fasts and how Shaytan has implemented his way into almost every single thing in our ummah, and this is 100% true. He has infiltrated our religion, and he has turned all of the good things of our religion into something bad. He has innovated, and he has created sects, and he has put the ummah against each other, and he has caused fitna against one another, and he has turned our breaking of fasting into feasting, and he has turned our prayers into these ritualistic speed things that we just do to get them out of the way. It's kind of like working out or brushing our teeth. These things we're not connecting to spiritually the way our Prophet wanted us to connect to spiritually. We are connecting to our spiritual pillars of our religion in very physical ways. We're connecting to Ramadan as like this physical test, as this physical fast. We're not spiritually connecting. It is being killed by the Shaytan, and he's 100% right. Our fasting has become feasting. Our prayer has become like a workout, like, you know, like stretching. Like, these things have become more of a physical burden upon us. Not eating and drinking and bowing up and down 5 times a day are becoming physical burdens upon us, rather than becoming strengtheners to our soul, is what I'm understanding and what I'm getting from this. And it's 100% true.
Explain to me how the month of fasting has become the month of feasting. Explain. Can you see Shaytan all over it or not? Rivera.
It is ridiculous, guys. It is very ridiculous.
What has he done? You know, have you seen in our communities what has Ramadan become now? It's become this nightlife. It's become this, wallahi, Lakemba's become the new King's Cross. Not King's Cross in the sense of the prostitution, a'udhu billah. No. What do I mean by the new King's Cross? It's the place to, you know, in the 90s, in the 80s, in the, brother, where do you go to party? You go to King's Cross. No, now we've got the new King's Cross and it's called Lakemba. Holden Street, Lakemba, Allahu Akbar. It's the buzz, it's the place to be. It's haram to be there. Wallah, it's not haram. But I'm asking you, is that what Allah wants? We're complaining that the brother is leading 20 rak'at, brother, is this sunnah, how come that takes so long? But you're standing for 45 minutes to eat a donkey in a burger. That's not a problem.
It's not a problem, as what he says. And he's right, it's not a problem. This is the way the world is today. Habiba, you need to eat. Go get your donkey and your burger. But when it comes time to pray your Tarawih prayer and it's 20 rak'ah and you're standing for 40 minutes to prostrate to your Creator, you want to complain it's bid'ah, you want to complain, you want to do 8 rak'ah or 11 rak'ah, whatever the case may be. And I am not Sunni Muslim, I am Shia Muslim. So this Tarawih argument, I'm not even within it. But what he's saying is you'll complain because you don't want to pray 40 minutes to your Creator, Tarawih prayer. But you'll stand 40 minutes for a burger on the side of the street in the cold or whatever the case may be because you're hungry. Because your physical needs are more important than your spiritual needs. And this is what Ramadan has become. Ramadan has become nightlife. Oh, I can't wait for Ramadan so I can go out, smoke hookah with my friends and eat food and go chill and walk around at night and see the lights and, you know. Ramadan has become this nightlife. And people are excited and happy for Ramadan, for the congregation of people so they can relax and eat and smoke and hang out and watch movies, rather than congregate and pray, rather than read Quran and connect to the Creator more, rather than abstain from their instinctual needs like eating and drinking to strengthen their soul. They seek Ramadan for the wrong things. People pray now not to pray to God. People pray now. Why do they pray now? People pray now just to go, oh, I need to go and get to work, so I need to pray before I go to work. You know, it's like something you have to do. It's like something you just, add to your day. You're not praying to connect to your creator. You're not praying to make dua to protect you for your day. You're not praying to discipline yourself. You're praying to get it done. It's like another thing on your list, your to-do list for the day. And this is what our religion is becoming, and this is what Shaytan has done over the last 1500 years from the time of our Prophet's death. Peace and blessings be upon him. And this is what our brother Muhammad here is speaking about today. And he does a very good job at articulating this. And I like his aggressive style. Not a lot of people like that aggressive style, but I do personally. And thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for watching this. If you made it to the end, inshallah, you have learned something new. Inshallah, you are more aware of the tricks and the construction, the blueprint that Shaytan has put around us. Even though in the month of Ramadan, we are protected from the Shaytan. Even though in the month of Ramadan, these Shaytan are locked up, that doesn't mean, like he said, you're not a fidget spinner. That he hasn't been winding you up for 11 months. And the 12th month of the year of Ramadan where he's locked up, you're not doing your own due diligences. This is the month where the accountability will all be on you then. All of your sins, everything you're doing will all be on you. So be very, very careful, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, my brothers and sisters. This month is so important, and please take advantage of it while it's still here, because you don't know if you have another day, let alone another year, to make it to the next Ramadan. Thank you guys so much for coming in today. I'm going to end the video here. Before I do so, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the picture that I pulled up. This is a picture that was on the hotel elevator, and this is a representation of the clock tower that we were in, because I was staying in the clock tower in the hotel in the clock tower. And this is a representation of the logo, what the clock tower looks like. It's like these claws, and it's an eye, it's one eye, as you can see, and the moon pillar is horns. And this thing stares down and looks down. It looks down at the Kaaba. It looks down at the house of God. When you are standing in this big clock tower that is shaped like a big one eye, because the Dajjal is one eye and horns, and you're staring down with this tower at the Kaaba, you're staring down at the house of God, rather than prostrating on the floor in front of the house of God, looking up at the house of God. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayk. You realize how much Shaytan has made his way into this world, in this ummah, and what he has done even to the Kaaba, like Muhammad said. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and until next time, free Palestine, free our world from this deception of the Dajjal and Shaytan, and protect our Muslim ummah, guide us to the straight path, and keep us safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.